You know, you always think that when you get married and you fall in love, everything's going to work perfect. You understand there's going to be struggles, but there's certain struggles you expect and some you don't. My struggles started from the very beginning, and they weren't the kind of struggles that, you know, it wasn't where you put your dirty socks, you know, it was something much worse. I was devastated. I didn't, you know, your whole world just falls apart. You know, if the hole could open up and you could fall into it, that would be better than where you presently found yourself. Well, it didn't feel like a marriage. It changed everything about it. You don't have the same feelings anymore. You evaluate everything that you think and feel and do, and everything that you thought you were, thought you had. Everything gets evaluated and weighed and measured against a new set of information that wasn't part of what played into it at first. And so, I was lost. I was just completely lost in that. And it affected me as a woman. It affected every part of who I was from that, going forward from that point on. You know, I came from a good faith-based background, and so stick it out is good and work through it is good. But you both have to want that. You both have to want to work it through, and you both have to want to be able to identify where the problem is and talk about it. And we were definitely not on that same page at all from the gate, definitely not on that page. I always figured, you know, people make mistakes, sometimes big mistakes even. Sometimes people do things that are foolish, and there's reason to, you know, to work through someone that makes a mistake. But when you don't view it as a mistake, then you're seeing things from two completely different points of view. For my husband, he didn't think anything of it, didn't think anything was the matter with it. And I think that's because that's what he saw growing up. And so fidelity and those kinds of things were not big in the home he grew up in. And that conflict was my conflict, not his conflict. He didn't have a problem with it. You know, I wanted him to feel my pain. I wanted him to see that and see the hurt that he caused and take some of that hurt from me and realize that I was willing to love him, but I wanted him to hold some of that burden, some of that pain. Your self-worth declines rapidly in that kind of an environment, and you don't know really what you're good for at that point. That's a very hard place to be in. And people can tell you that you have value, but I think when you're in a situation where you want that love and that respect and that sense of worth to come from the person that's supposed to love you and care for you, that person that you share intimacies with, that's the only place where you feel that value, and it's not coming to you from that direction. Where are you getting it from? It takes a long time before you reach out, before you look outside. You know, you hide from it. You don't want anybody to know what's going on. You don't tell your family. You don't tell anybody because it's embarrassing. You know, I didn't really know what I was supposed to do or where I was going to go. I just knew that I would just put one foot in front of the other. And when I figured it out, then I would know. But I didn't know. I didn't know I would stumble and trip over it, you know, trying to guess how he was going to respond if I brought something up. You know, if there was any of that, you know, token remorse, that's what I was called. It was token remorse. If there was any of that, I would wonder, you know, could we work it out together? Could the two of us work it out? That's where I hung all my hope, was on him. You know, and I felt like if I could just get through to him and he could hear me, then we would heal. I would heal. It's hard to find the words that you can accept for yourself. When you hide behind it, it makes it as if it's not really real. You know that it's there, but you're going to hide behind it. If you label it, if you share it, then you've got to do something about it, and you don't know what to do. The reality for getting help, the reality is it changes you. It changes how you see you. It doesn't change the situation. It just changes what you're able to bear. Sometimes having the language that you can call it, labels that you can call things, that helps tremendously. To be able to identify the situation with a phrase or a term, it helps. It helps to know that there's something that you can put it on and leave it there. Ultimately, I knew that in order for me to find myself through all of the experiences that I've lived through, I needed to be able to look at what happened and talk my way through it. It had to be okay. At home, I couldn't talk about it. And it wasn't okay there. And so it negated it. It was as if it didn't really happen. And it did happen to me, not just once, but many times. And so I had to be able to get it out and be able to say it. And I had to have some place to put it. It was good for me. It changed me. It was empowering to me. But inside it healed pieces of me that I didn't realize how broken they were. This program has absolutely been one of the best programs I've ever done. I've tried a lot of different things, but the tools that I was given, the calming kit, that was amazing to me. I never would have thought of that without somebody guiding me through that process. It also helped to kind of identify with where I was. My situation has happened over a great length of time. So it was good to see that there was some progress. I wasn't as far along as I wanted to be, but I could see some progress. Some of those evaluations were very helpful. And to say, okay, well, I want to work on that a little more. I didn't realize that I was, not in a good spot there, and so I need to focus on that area. It gave me some points of reference to work towards. Well, there's things that I need to fix, but, I'm a work in progress. But I'm better than I used to be, and I like that. I like the strength that I've gained. But I have a plan that I'm working, and I'm mostly focused that plan on me right now, and not on him. It's okay to love him and let him figure out what he's going to do, and let me work on me for a little bit. And that's kind of where my focus is right now. Things may decline, things may get better. That's not what's important to me right now. What's important is figuring out how to fix what got damaged and how to prevent that damage from getting any worse. I wish I had known there was a place to go to get help. I wish I had known that I would be better if I talked, that letting it go and letting it out would heal me, that holding it in was just baggage that I was going to carry around with no place to put it, and I wasn't going to get any better for me that way. It might have been okay for him, but not for me. Find some place where you feel comfortable sharing your story, and let your story out, and let it be okay to have lived that story, because it's real. It happened. And that's your truth. That's your experience. And those feelings that are attached to that experience are a part of you. And to deny them, it's not a good thing. You have to feel those feelings and own them and let them be real for you. Working through all the experiences that happen to you and letting those experiences be real is empowering, and it changes you in a way that's more positive than you can ever imagine. And there's hope and there's joy in that. Life can be good. Trials come, but life can be good.